guy's been on Conan O'Brien, David Letterman. Got a new podcast called WTF. Please give it up for Marc Maron! Keep it going for Eric Andre, the very needy and excitable Eric Andre. But I appreciate his approach to this audience. You know, there's really two ways you can go. Either you can sit up here and about 3 jokes in just feel the wind sucked out of you as you pathetically try to sell something you no longer care about. Or you can just blast through it like you don't give a shit with a lot of references and dick talk, which was the way Andre did it. So I thought that I respected his approach. And he improvises that stuff exactly like that every night. So it's important that he comes from the Warren Thomas, Greg Proops, San Francisco trajectory. If you want to deconstruct comedy stylings, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. Warren's dead, so Andre thought, well, fuck it, I'm in. And but he didn't steal his material. I don't want to seem like I'm accusing him of that. What he stole was his soul. I kid. No, I think that kid's going places for at least a year or 2. Why am I being so mean, man? You did a great job, and I apologize. That is such a fucked up comic thing to do. Fuck that guy, but he's alright, he's interesting. You know, he's interesting. I do that a lot. I do that with audiences. There's a lot of, pushing away, and then trying to get you back, and then pushing you away. It's a little dynamic I call dad. And my father, if I don't talk to you a lot about this, but I saw him recently. How can I? Oh, this is genius. I guess it's share time because I have nothing to lose. This is not an audience I'm necessarily going to do my best for. In the sense that why try to do old jokes that I know work to make me doubt them? Why not just do things I'm thinking about currently? Could I just tell you what I come from? Could I share with you a little bit? Because I think this is not necessarily funny, but it's brilliant in its dark fucked upness. This is my father. Here's my father. I get a call from my father, who's manic depressive, by the way, which is very exciting half the time. My father, this is who he is. I mean, I can't think of a better way to talk about myself or what I come from. My father calls me up upset. His wife's name is Rosie. And I say, what's the matter, Dad? And my dad goes, Rosie's got cancer. And I'm like, that is horrible. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry to hear that. And he goes, yeah, I know. I got bad luck. And equally as troubling, I was in the middle of a divorce, and I was literally a broken man, and I went to visit my father. And I sat there with him in a car driving, and I said, Dad, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do about this divorce thing. And my dad completely honestly looks at me and goes, there's only one thing he can do. And I go, what? He goes, you got to kill her. And I said, that's really the only thing? He goes, well, what else are you going to do? I think there are other options. Am I wrong? He goes, no, you got to kill her, and you got to do it yourself. I said, I have to do it myself? And why do I have to do it myself? He goes, because if you hire people, that's how you get caught. Like they wouldn't suspect the guy she just left. That wouldn't. I believe that all father-son relationships, on some level, are really a battle to the death. I believe that. I was at the drugstore today. I don't even know what to do at this moment because this actually just happened. There was a guy standing in front of me buying a case of beer. He had like sandals on and shorts, and he smelled like cigarettes and liquor. And his hair was fucked up, California. And he's sitting there having this conversation with the woman at the counter about the lottery. And he's sitting there going, You know how much they take, taxes? If you win $1 million in the lottery, you know how much you take? And the woman's like, 50%? He goes, no, 33%. Isn't that fucking ridiculous? And I'm listening to this, I'm like, where's this gonna go? And then he says, it's not even worth it. Like, somehow or another, he had decided that big government had fucked up him even wanting to play the lottery. Like, who's gonna spend $1 to win $640,000? That's out of $1 million? Fuck that. Fuck the government. It's not even worth playing. I don't know why people freak out about socialism. I think it's time. I don't even think people know what it really means, but all these people are like, no, socialized medicine. Why not? What's the big problem? I think we should go further. I think we should just go full-on fucking communist for 4 years. Why not? Here's what'll happen. What we do is we stop exporting things. We make everything in America. Everybody works for the government. We rebuild our manufacturing base. Everybody works, in factories, and we just make stuff, good stuff for Americans. And everybody will get government issue pants, and maybe two kinds of government issue shoes, maybe 1 or 2 jackets, government issue glasses, 2 kinds, but really cool ones. And we just do that because that would level the playing field. Everybody would lose all their fucking weird, selfish hang-ups because you wouldn't have to go to work and think to yourself, where the fuck did they get those shoes? No, you wouldn't think that. You'd think I'm glad I didn't wear mine today. And that would be... And then I think after 4 years, fuck it, we just go back to capitalism after we rebuilt everything. And I guarantee you, 2 years back into capitalism, people will be sitting at home going, I think I'm going to wear my communist pants again. Because those are really good pants. I kind of miss that. That one worked okay. I'm building it. Because there's another part to it. Why do comics who are relatively smart always go meta when they're not doing as well as they think? Like, instead of just let the joke sit, they're like, oh, that one's still on the anvil. I'm working on that one. I'm thinking about it. Just let me in on the process. I'm being meta to hide my insecurity about the outcome of that joke. This is going okay. See, I just did it again. Self-talk. What else did I want to say? I think I need to talk about the Viagra thing again, because I'm finding a great amount of joy in that. Have you heard me tell this? Anybody? No? When I went through the divorce, I was a broken-hearted, fucking miserable mess. My wife left me. I could barely think. But I'm okay now. And I've really got to stop talking about it because I spend a lot of time talking about it, but I'm right on the cusp of being like, Maron, really got to let this go. Because I'm not in a panic anymore. Like, now people aren't concerned about me. Now what they say is like, don't worry, she'll get hers. And I fucking hate that. Because all I can think is like, well, will I be notified? I mean, is somebody going to give me a report that she's gotten it and what form it takes? Because I don't know if she's going to get hers unless I actively give it to her. Then I try not to think bad. It's like this is where character development really comes from. Because I heard she was pregnant, so now I've got to somehow twist it in my mind. Well, that's good for her. That fucking act as if, let's pretend like everything's okay shit. Don't bring bad karma back to you. I have to try to think that and not think I hope the kid's born without a face. I have to... Because I should even say that out loud, let alone think it. But that's the sort of conflict that I have in my brain. No, I think she's going to have a good luck. A fucking kid. No, okay, maybe he can have a face, but missing several digits. No, I like it not with, maybe not, I'm not going to do it. So I'm in the middle of this divorce and I have to go get a physical. So I go see Dr. Meltzer, my doctor in New York. He's a 75-year-old Jewish man. Looks like a well-worn piece of Semitic furniture, like a small Jewish Buddha. And I walk in, I'm like, how you doing, Dr. Meltzer? This is how he responds to that. He goes, I'm 75, how do I look? Great, right? I'm like, can we make it about me for a few minutes? You're my doctor. So I get the physical, and everything's fine. I tell him what's going on in my life. He's like, well, that's too bad. You'll be all right. You'll get through this. But you're healthy, and that's good. You have your health. And I'm like, well, thank you. And I'm walking out, and Meltzer stops me. He goes, Mark. And I'm like, yes, Dr. Meltzer. And he says, have you tried Viagra? When you're a man, you know, when someone asks you that, you're defensive immediately. Like, I don't need Viagra. I'm fine. I'm like, my angry Jewish cock is in good shape. It functions properly. I don't need it. And then this little Jewish man looks at me and smiles, and he says, it's not about need. This is a spectacular drug. And I'm a drug guy, so it didn't take much selling. You know, so I'm like, all right, give me a couple. So he gives me 3 Viagras, and I know what they're supposed to do. I know what they claim to do, but I never took one before. So I go home and research it. Do you know how much money they make off this fucking drug? Do you know how much? Like ridiculous millions of dollars they might make off of Viagra, which means to me that everyone is doing it, or has at least tried it. It's not just those couples you see dancing in their living room. It's not just those 2 holding hands in a bathtub on the mountain. It's not the 2 getting on the motorcycle with too much equipment and gear on. I just have to assume that everyone is doing this. And the reason he gave it to me was he was concerned for me. And I really think they need to reach out to different demographics with this drug. I mean, like create some new ad campaigns that are more reasonable. Like the one I would picture is Viagra for when you want to fuck anything. Because I'm telling you, you could be crying. You could literally be like, I don't know, I miss my ex-wife. This feels weird. Okay, I'm ready. Sit on it. Viagra. For when you want to fuck anything. And I don't think you should judge Viagra, really, because I think if you're going to judge it, don't judge it. There's no such thing as erectile dysfunction. Everybody has their ups and downs. What Viagra is erectile guarantee. That's all it is. And you shouldn't judge a guy based on how you should judge Viagra is the same way you judge steroids. Where do you fall on the steroids argument? Because they're both performance-enhancing drugs. Do you think that steroids compromises the integrity of the sport? Because let's be honest, if you give a guy who can't hit a ball steroids, he's not going to be able to hit the ball any better. He's just going to be able to not hit it harder and faster. I think that's where the end of that joke is. Because I could get crass about it. Because the few times I tried it, I thought it was pretty fucking scary and weird. Because literally, you look, there's a distance between you and your dick. You're like, oh my God, what's it doing? Like there's moments where you're like, I wish I could just leave my body, sit over there, and jerk off to me fucking this person. See, I can be dirty too, but it's what they call a... Back in the day, Andre, it was called intelligent blue.
What did I do?
Nothing, dude. I just resent your youth. You did nothing. I'm just trying to mask my bitterness in an idea. If you want me to be honest, I think you're doing a great job. I enjoyed the piece on the show that I don't watch, and because I got what you were saying, and it was good. It was really good, and I liked a lot of what you did. It was really just me doing something that I've been known to do in my career, which is like, you know, mock and attack, you know, people who are on their way up. And usually, like, I don't do it in a friendly sort of way where you would walk away going, this is Maron. No, whenever I do it, people leave going, what the fuck? And then what happens is that they call their manager and go, I don't know what the fuck I did to Marc Maron. And then what happens is that manager calls another manager and they're like, what do you mean Marc Maron said that about Andre? That's bullshit. And then within 2 or 3 days, it gets around these small cloister of fucking parasites that run this business. And somehow or another, you know, people look at me funny, like, yeah, Maron's a problem. And it all started because I decided to deconstruct your act in an angry but honest but loving way out of my own insecurity. So what I have done tonight is by doing that to you, I have guaranteed I have burned a bridge by Thursday. It's a little lesson in self-sabotage. Unless you just suck it up and act like a fucking man about it, keep your mouth shut. Not be such a fucking precious pussy. How would that be? Tough guy. We all know you're shiny and half Jew. We get it. This did not go the way I wanted it to. I'm really working hard at rebranding myself as sort of the wise old comic with humility. Fuck. I have to rebrand because my brand is very inconsistent and doesn't sell much. No one buys a brand like that. What's it do? Well, sometimes it's funny, other times it's a little disconcerting. Anyways, was this okay with you? Did you have a good time? Did I deliver for you? Because, I'm talking to her. She actually showed up with a copy of my book that I wrote many years ago, and I signed it for her. It's very flattering that people can still get that at yard sales and stuff. I'm kidding. I appreciate you coming. Let me try to do something pleasant. Fuck it.
Why don't you just fight me on stage?
Oh yeah. That would be a perfect closer for you, pussy. Yeah, why don't you beat up an old man? Would that make you feel big? Maybe you can do some broad comedic action while you're doing it. Maybe a little of this, and how about a little of that and this, and maybe move your fucking hat around a little bit while you're kicking my ass. Make some funny noises and use references that just barely are understood by most people. How about that? If you do it like that, maybe I'd let you kick my ass. The sad thing about that is that means tomorrow will be like, look man, everyone's talking about you and Maron, so maybe you guys should do a show together. See now, like if I were Rickles, this would work. Dude, I love you, man. I really respect what you do. This has gotten out of hand because I'm just playing the fucking miserable, bitter comic. So I apologize, kinda, and and everything's cool with me and you. Oh my God! I'll write you an amends letter tomorrow, stating my side of the problem. How was I going to end? That probably would have been a good place to get off, right there. But it's something inside me said, no, end with something uplifting and good. Show your heart, Mark. Have you ever had sex that is so good that in the middle of it you're thinking, one of us is going to die? I have, recently. And God bless her soul. See, now you knew that was just a joke that I'd done before. It wasn't half as exciting as making fun of the new guy. I think we can end on a valley. I don't have any problem with that. Because you know what? Eric will pick up the energy in a second. Good night.
Give it up for the professor. The roast has begun. Give it up for the Jew from Deadwood. Thank you, professor. Why would anybody divorce that guy? That ray of sunshine. How could you divorce that flower? That looks like a Jewish teen wolf. The roast begins. Should we just roast everybody and just end in an ultimate fight / orgy where we're all fucking and crying? All right, I just wrote down just like 10 or 12 things I don't like about Marc Maron. Oh man, okay. Should I keep it going? Keep roasting each other? And then we're both of it are fucking total pussies. We wouldn't fight. We would just cry and like arm wrestle and caress each other. We'd end up having like gay sex before I'm horny. You guys ready for more show? Wait, do I adjust my hat too much? What if I got really self-conscious? What if I was the worst roaster of all time? And I just ended up fucking self-deflating. Like, yeah, he's right, I know. I'm gonna go back and reevaluate my set. Give it up for Petrulli. Yeah. Give it up for Marc Maron smelling like the back of an anarchist bookstore. That hug, it smelled like the fucking carpet in an old movie theater. There's Petrulli and fucking butter. All right.